All right, so taking a comfortable seat, resting your hands in your lap. And this seat could be in a chair, on the floor. It can be any shape. That is the shape that you take when you want to not be distracted by your body. When you want to be able to take a seat, usually if you take a seat where those two hip points, the ASIS, are as high or higher than your knees, it will be easier to lengthen your spine up towards the sky. So find the support beneath you. Relax your shoulders. And begin to deepen your breath. And you can begin to practice either your Ujjayi breathing with the tip of the tongue behind the upper two teeth and a hollowness at the back of the throat. Whether you use Ujjayi or the Samavriti, the balanced inhale and exhale, please make your breath smooth. So that as you're inhaling, and you notice the pause at the top, and there's that transition to the exhale, the pause. It's as if you're ironing out any wrinkles in the breath. You're going to make your breath as smooth as you possibly can. We're looking for that place of steadiness. There's enough disruption and different viewpoints always. So can we take this time to drop in and smooth breath, soothe the nervous system. And at the bottom of your next exhale, you're welcome to release any control on your breath. Still noticing where are the muscles and bones that are moving as you're being breathed. Bring your hands in front of your heart, honoring your presence. And we'll open the practice by chanting the sound of Om, that vibration of sound, so that it's moving all the way from the root chakra, all the way up the central channel to the throat chakra. If you join me in chanting, you might feel the sound as it moves through your body and out into the room around you. I'll chant the sound of Om and sing Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings in all realms find peace, happiness, and may my words and actions support this. Taking a deep inhale. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. With your next exhale, you're welcome to bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands and lift your gaze. All right. So let's go ahead and come up to standing. Sometimes I like to work coming to standing without using my hands. Inhale that. I'm going to move my blankets out of the way. And I'm going to just tilt my camera up slightly. You're going to step your feet just a little wider apart, like about the width of your yoga mat. Because we're going to start with just some movement with the breath. So let's just soften the knees a little. Let the arms swing around. You'll feel the arms tapping into your body. So also noticing that. They might be hitting your body. You know, you might notice, well, where are they hitting? And does the right and the left one touch my body in the same place on both sides? Go ahead and start deepening the breath through the nose and out the nose. We're going to be using the pushing hands, and the exhale is going to be quick out the mouth as if you're blowing out a candle. So you'll join me when you're ready. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly letting the body come back. Deep breathing through the nose. And then you'll feel yourself coming back towards stillness. And then we're going to step the feet back toward each other. And now we're going to take one more breath practice where there'll be a 3 short inhales through both nostrils. The exhale will be bending both knees and taking the arms back with the palms open. The inhales, we're going to have the fists closed. 3 short inhales goes like this. So the exhale's audible out the mouth. Keep going. This is the last one. The next time you come down, stay down. The arms begin to slow down. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And exhale, hands back in front of the heart. One more time, Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, hands back in front of your heart. Great. Now, if you'll take your hands, you can, make your feet a comfortable distance. Take your hands back onto the crest of the pelvis. So you're gonna, you can reach back. You've got, if this is painful on the thumbs, you can use the edge of your pointer finger. But come along and just get a sense of, feel all along the crest, all the way to the hip point, palpating along there. Just kind of waking the awareness up, like, wow, where is this? There's the back, more of the back, there's the middle, coming around towards the front, okay. All right, and I'm just gonna scrape myself, almost like I'm gonna carve out the top of my pelvis so that my awareness maybe will more easily fall into this area. Okay, great. All right, so now let's take your chair and you'll have it facing you, the seat of the chair facing you on your mat. And we're gonna take a block on the seat of the chair, maybe 2 blocks on the seat of the chair. Maybe you have another block you could put on the seat of the chair just to make it taller. It also going to depend on the length of your hamstrings. And we're going to stand on your left leg first. Left leg first. The right heel is going to go up on the blocks. So when I do this, I'm going to be at a slight angle. I'm not going to be completely facing my chair. I'm going to do that in a bit. Right now, I'm going to be kind of at a 45 to my chair because I'm going to open the adductors first. And so I'm going to stand on the left leg and put the right foot up onto the blocks. All right. The standing leg is under you, but it's not closer to the chair from you. I want to notice the weight as it comes into my inner hip joints. And again, I'm not facing my leg up on the chair. I'm more at a 45 to it. I want us to work on moving the pelvis away from this lifted leg. So this is a version of Astapadahustasana. So let's inhale, lift your left arm up. So you're reaching all the way down into your standing leg. Notice when you reach into the standing leg, if you felt the outer right hip roll up, and without pushing the right outer leg down, see if you can go to the crest of the pelvis on the right with your awareness and drop it away from your waistline. Then with the right hand on maybe the leg, the lifted leg, take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to start to side bend. I mean, this depends, of course, on your adductors, your hamstrings, but you're probably mainly feeling the adductor of the lifted leg. Can you go back into the breathing? So from that hip point on the right to the front of the right outer hip, can you soften that area? So that the pelvis is moving away from this lifted leg. And on the side of the body, that your left side that's lifted, can you go to the crest of the pelvis on that lifted arm side and reach down from the crest of the pelvis to the standing leg and from the crest towards the lower ribs. Draw the front of the throat back. Inhale, let's come up. Good. Exhale, we'll lift the leg from the blocks. You're going to take your second side. So you're going to be standing on the right leg. So the right foot is turned slightly out from facing the chair. Shift the weight, place the left leg up. Yeah. Sometimes I like to have my chair close to a wall and put my blocks up higher. It's another idea. All right, so on the standing leg, reach down. Reach down into the standing leg. And on the lifted leg, make sure that from this hip crease and groin in the front, wraps all the way around to that outer hip of the lifted left leg. So you're not gonna let that rise, you're keeping it settled down. Let's inhale, lift your right arm. Reaching into the standing leg, so you're rising up over the right inner thigh. And as you exhale, pelvis is moving away from the lifted leg. Can the left pubic bone go away from the left inner thigh? And on the right side, crest of the pelvis toward the right heel. And on the side waist, can you lengthen, especially where the crest wraps around, right, from the middle towards the back? Can you lengthen there? Base of the skull back, so you feel the front of the throat draw back. And then we're going to inhale, come up. Exhale, release the arm, pick up the leg, turn towards your chair, and we'll take downward facing dog with our hands on the seat of the chair. So you can either take the blocks off your chair, wrap your hands around the chair, walk the feet back. And here, as you lengthen forward. So lift the front of the throat towards the back of the throat. And can you lengthen through the side body? You might notice, like, as you lengthen from the crest of the pelvis toward the lower ribs on both sides, you might feel the urge to even take the feet back slightly. Deep breathing. Another inhale, pressing firmly into the chair. The exhale, stay there. And then we'll inhale, step forward. Both walking forward towards the seat of the chair. And hands can come to the hips as you come back up. All right. So now we're going to face the seat of the chair. We'll stand. I'm still going to turn my foot, my left foot, which is going to be my standing leg foot, a little away from the seat. Shift my weight there and take the right leg up. This time I am facing forward. Reach down into the standing leg, just like you would if you were doing tree pose. Notice on the right side, is the right hip hiking up? Can you let it drop down without losing this strength of reaching through the standing foot, leg? And then let's inhale, lift both arms. Draw the front of the throat back. Can you make the breath smooth? One more deep inhale. And then your exhale will release the arms and pick up the leg, second side. Shift the weight to the right, take your left leg up. Right foot is turned a little to the right. Inhale, lift both arms. Reaching from the standing leg, the inner thigh of the right, all the way up from the low belly, psoas pathway on the right, up to the heart, up to the fingers. One more full inhale. And exhale, release. Stepping down again. One more downward dog with the chair. Lengthening through the sides. Make sure that the shoulder, the rib cage meet the front of your shoulder blades and lengthen through your side body. And deep inhale, exhale, step forward. Great. All right, hands on the hips, coming up. All right, one more shape for this Padangusthasana. And that's gonna be, we're gonna have a twist, right? So standing on the left leg, again, turn the left foot just slightly out. Shift the weight into your left. Bring the right foot up. So you're going to be twisting toward the right. So reach into the standing leg. Left hand comes across to the outer, like right thigh knee. Right hand can come to the top of the pelvis, the crest. Just a little twist here. Where, again, can you draw the throat back? Are you still reaching through the crown of your skull? And then let's come back. Step down. Other side. Standing on the right, left leg up. And left hand can come to the crest of the pelvis. Right hand across, reach into the right leg, the standing leg, and yes, it is slightly behind you. The right heel is slightly behind the right hip. Lengthen up through the crown, lengthen up, throat back. Inhale deeply. And then let's exhale and release. Great. And we'll pick that knee up. Good. Come to standing. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, forward fold. So you could bow forward to the seat of the chair or to the ground. Releasing the head and the neck. And shaking the head like no. And yes. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. And let's inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. And exhale your hands back in front of your heart. And release both arms. Okay, I'm gonna move my chair just out of the way. And then you'll take blocks at the top of your mat because we're gonna move through some lunges and sun salutation. All right, so step into the top of your mat. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Notice where the weight is in your heels, in your feet. Is there more weight toward your toes? Can you bring your attention to your the back of the sacrum and the crest of the pelvis on the back of your body? Notice what that space feels like right now. And as you, even now, just shift a little weight forward toward the toes and notice that space at the back of the sacrum and pelvis. And then shift your weight a little back into the heels. And notice what happens to that space at the back of the sacrum and the pelvis. What happens? Release your arms. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Let's go, inhale, halfway. Exhale, right foot back. You can pull the blocks back so they frame the front foot. Right foot back. So as you reach back into the back foot, so that the pelvis, you might turn the pelvis like just a slight bit to the right, towards the back. Notice then if you feel a little more space on the left inner hip. We'll come up to the fingertips. Inhale, upright. Just like all those flowers that we've been watching open. It's the same thing as we rise from the low lunge. Lifting up all the way up. Let's inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow. Inhale, step the right foot forward. And exhale, left foot back. So again, as you have the left leg back, you can do that little experiment of, if you turn your pelvis slightly left, just a tad bit left, do you feel more space at the right inner hip? And do you feel a little more connection to the crest of the pelvis on the left and that whole left side body? When you're ready, inhale, come up. Opening and lifting, taking your time. The gaze may be down towards the ground. It might be straight ahead, or it might be lifted up towards the sky. And then let's inhale the arms out. And exhale, bow. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bow. Release the head again. And then inhale, come on up, all the way up, arms overhead. And exhale, hands back in front of the heart. Good. All right, just one more time. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. You could either use hands on blocks or hands on the floor. You could go puppy pose or downward dog pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower the knees and the chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, plank and downward facing dog. Inhaling deeply, strongly reaching. Shoulder blades, upper arm bones to the hands. Taking another deep inhale, and with your exhale, step forward. Shift the hands to the hips, and inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release both arms. Great. All right, I want to do triangle pose with the chair, but this time you could turn your chair around so the back of the chair is towards you. I also have, because I've got a slippery floor for the front of my chair, there's going to be the ability for it to slide a little. If you've got that, you could keep at least 2 legs of the chair on a slippery floor if you have one. And I can show you, probably easier if I show you it first. So in a moment, you'll do this. You'll take your right foot out and your left foot in, and you'll have a block at the right outer shin. And if you need 2 blocks, you can have 2 blocks there. And I'm going to inhale, lift my arms. And as I exhale, both legs are straight, back hand's going to come to the hip, and this hand's coming to a block. So I'm going to balance the weight in the front foot. And then I'm going to take this arm and bring it overhead. I can tell this chair is too close because I'm going to bring this arm either overhead like this, or I might reach it overhead to the back of this chair. Either spot, I'm working to lengthen through my side body. Okay? So it could be just reaching here, or it might be resting. Some of you might even have a taller chair. That could be helpful. All right, so if you're not already, go ahead and take the feet wide, feet to the right. Inhale the arms out. It's okay if you're already there, no worries. Exhale, triangle. You might bring the back hand on the hip to start. One hand to the outer right ankle shin onto a block. And then inhale, take your left arm up. And then as you exhale, take the arm similar to side angle. So the palm facing towards the floor. And start to reach from that outer left crest all the way into the heel. So you're lengthening into the side body. And the hand might find the back of the chair, it might not. But can you reach from that crest of the pelvis in the back especially to the left outer heel? And then let's inhale, come up. Great. And we'll step the feet together. You can either turn around and face the other way or move your chair, whatever's easiest. Second side, so we're going to step the feet apart. Right foot in, left foot out. Inhale the arms out. Oh, I forgot my blocks. Huh, I need one of those. I need one of those at my left outer shin. Inhale the arms out again. And exhale to triangle. So this back hand can come to the hip if that helps you. It often helps just get the weight balanced in the hip joints. And then you're welcome to add the arm. So pelvis is going away from the front thigh. We talked about that in the standing, in the Anastapadagastasana with the foot on the chair, pelvis away from the front thigh. And then take the arm and reach it overhead. Palm is either toward the floor. Palm might be coming down to reach the back of that chair, might not. But can you find at that bony part at the back of the crest of the pelvis, can you get your awareness in there? Where is that? Where's that back part? And how do I take right in between the crest of my pelvis, I take that towards my foot, and right above the crest, right at the flesh, how do I take that towards my ribs? This area kind of reminds me of the clouds, like the layers and layers. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arm up and come all the way up. Good, make the feet parallel and you can step the feet back together. Mountain pose. Shine the palms forward. And again, can you let the attention fall into your footprints for a moment? Okay. And the back of the pelvis. That space at the back of the pelvis. When you have the weight a little back in the heels, not that the toes are lifted, but how do you keep the space at the back of the pelvis broad? All right, great. Okay, can we take, we'll come to the ground. We're gonna come to the ground for Purvottanasana. Now, if you don't want to do this on the floor, you can always do it seated in a chair. But sometimes it kind of, the reason I'm saying we'll come to the floor, but I don't want to negate the chair option. I'm going to just show if you have the right kind of chair, you could do it seated in the chair. So let me show you that real quick where you'd be up on the edge and you would have the hands here instead of on the floor. Everything will be about the same, except if you're in the chair, you're going to be here and you can't shift the hips anymore forward, except to actually pick them up. Okay, so there's a chair version as far as the setup. If you're coming to the floor, you'll come down to the floor and you'll bring the hands back with the, if it's okay with the wrists, the palms, the fingers are pointing towards your feet. So, excuse me, bring the attention to the top of your breastbone. Can you lift the breastbone up? And can you broaden all the way to your collarbones? And then also from the breastbone to your upper arm bones. Can that be lifted? And then with your exhale, release. You can take your hands and just take them and clasp them in front of your legs and lean back like you're resting back in the hammock. Just breathing in and out and just resting into your back body. All right, let's do one more. Okay, so either seated in the chair or sometimes I do these even standing with my hands on the wall. So hands come behind you, fingertips are facing toward the feet, if that's okay with your wrists. This time, you're going to, if you're on the ground, well, all of us are gonna lift the top of the breastbone, whether we're in the chair or the ground, broaden across the collarbones, lift up out of the waist, and we might lift the hips whether we're in the chair or we're on the floor. And the gaze can be forward toward the belly, or if the neck is fine, it'll drop back. And lower down. Great, bring the arms forward again. So you rest back into the back body. All right, let's go ahead now. Can you go ahead, straighten your left leg and right foot on the ground. We're going to take just a simple twist, Marichyasana 3, twisting to the right. So as you twist to the right, you've got the right hand behind you, left leg long. You can notice that space of the waistline all the way around the back. As the pelvis stays stable and you're turning through your upper body. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center. Straighten the right leg. Let's take one on the other side. Left foot on the ground, left hand behind you. You can just clasp the right knee inside the crook of the elbow, twisting left. Can you feel some layers sliding on a layer, like from that space at the top of the pelvis on the right? And then exhale, come back to center. Great, straighten both legs. Give a little rub to your knees. All right, great. Now, let's take a bridge pose. I like to have some support with my bridge pose. So I'm gonna take a blanket and have the blanket, let's see, I'll fold it in half lengthwise. This is going to support my shoulders. I'm going to take the rolled end away from me. All right, rolled end is away from me. And I also like to have my strap available. And I'm going to make a loop in the strap so that the size of my loop is at least probably about the width of my arms. And I'm going to know where my strap is. And then also my 2 blocks. So when I come down, I use the blanket because it gives me a little more height, and it gives, I've got my shoulders on the blanket, the very, very base of my neck, but the rest of my neck is bearing no weight at all. It's completely lifted away from the ground. I'm going to lift my hips and take one of my blocks and put it under the bony back of my pelvis. I might like having a second block on the same height. Now, depending on the tightness at the front of the hip joint, you know, this might be the right height. Some of you might have a little more length here, and you're going to be able to press into your feet and go up one more, as in you tilt the block to the medium height. The shoulders are still on the blanket. They're not floating in the air, they're on the blanket. Then I'm going to reach over and grab my strap, find my loop, and the loop in my hands is going to go between the blocks and my feet. Between the blocks and my feet, and I'm going to take my palms, face them toward each other. And here I'm gonna start lifting through the top of the breastbone again. Broaden to the collarbones. So, and the gaze. The eyes may be closed, but the eyeballs, the gaze are gonna be like between the heart and the belly button. So lifting up, a lot of strength happening through the sides of the ribs, serratus anterior, triceps, back of the arms. So I might stay here, or I might bring one leg up, the other leg up, keep the chest lifted, and the legs up. Strong in the upper body. Do you still have a lift through the mid-sternum, upper sternum, broadness all the way out to the arms? So even though the pelvis is supported, the upper body is actively working. And then you're going to exhale, bend the knees, one foot to the ground, then the other, hands out of the strap. Remove one of the blocks if there's two, and just come down to one block. Then pick up the pelvis and either lift the back of the head and walk yourself, or move your blanket so that the blanket's going to be under the pelvis now. Shoulders, head, backs of the arms are on the ground. Knees are bent, feet on the floor. All right, and then we'll roll over to one side. Use your arms, push yourself back up to sitting, so that you're going to, let's take, move your blanket out of the way, or open it up to cushion the ground, so that the ground will be more supported. So you might add that. We're gonna do a reclined twist before we take Shavasana. So I've got my blanket laying out on the floor. I gotta get all the wrinkles out, right? Where'd all those wrinkles come from anyway? It's always the trick. All right. Then I am gonna come down onto your back. You might know where your chair is, because you might want it for Shavasana in a moment. So I'm just gonna situate it. I'm not gonna use it quite yet, but I'm gonna lie down on the ground, knees bent, feet on the floor, arms out wide. Pick up the hips and shift them about an inch or two to your left. Straighten your right leg and take a twist to the right. So left shoulder blade is back. And I'm going to tone the right inner thigh, so the bottom leg. And I'm going to also put my awareness in the top of the pelvis on the left. That space to the fascia, skin, flesh. So even deeper than the layer of the skin all the way through the layers, down to the bone. Okay, the head is either looking straight up towards the ceiling, you can have the eyes closed, or you might have the head turned toward the left. All right, we're gonna come back to center. Bring everything back to center, so you're in midline. Then you're gonna shift the hips an inch or two to the right. Straighten the left leg, because you're rolling over onto the outer left hip as you twist the lower body to the left and keep the right side back. It's a different side, it might feel different. Especially through those layers. All the way at the back of the pelvis, all the way towards the back of the greater trochanter. That whole area. And then also the back of the crest of the pelvis. We'll inhale, come back up. Bring everything back to center. So from the pubic bone, the belly button, heart, throat, nose. And then we're gonna come knees to the chest, bring your knees up. When you bring the knees up, can you get the sense that the crest of the pelvis moves towards the skin at the back body? As you inhale and take the knees away, so you feel the crest of the pelvis come into your body. Your exhale, you draw them in. There goes the crest towards the skin, towards the ground. The inhale, it comes deeper into the body. Exhale in. And then you're going to release that. And you could either pull your chair a little closer for the backs of the calves, or you can take your legs, whatever's comfortable to you. Get that chair there you go. For Shavasana. And allow your breath to begin to deepen. And awakening your body to movement. Make a mindful transition over to one side. And use the support of your arms to press yourself up to sitting. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.